visiting with the president of Vietnam. And here's what he said about their meeting in front of the reporters. Quote, "We discussed the fact that Ho Chi Minh was actually inspired by the U.S. Declaration of Independence and Constitution and the words of Thomas Jefferson." Wait, what? Yeah. See, if you go back in history and you read it, that when Ho Chi Minh was giving a speech in front of his people trying to explain what he was doing with Vietnam and North Vietnam, he quoted from the Declaration of Independence. He tried to quote from the Constitution. He got it kind of right most of the time. He used the words of Thomas Jefferson because that's the same kind of stuff that he believed. No! Technically, he's right. Technically, yes. Ho Chi Minh did give some speeches like that. That is technically correct. Why in the world would Obama try to give credibility to what Ho Chi Minh did? No, it was, well, Greg, Ho Chi Minh was just trying to get the French out. That's occupying force, and then you can't blame him for that. That is like Thomas Jefferson. That's not what Obama was talking about. What else did Ho Chi Minh do? Let's see, he killed about 500,000 of his own people. Why? Well, some of them he killed because they politically disagreed with him. Some of them he killed because they were going to vote against him in a so-called vote. Some of them he killed because he was afraid that they were people that could be leaders in the future. Here's an article I looked up today, just trying to refresh my memory on some of this stuff. Reader's Digest, November 1968, talked about how in one village, a little boy, the son of the village chief, was taken away, came running out with both of his hands cut off, a sign around his neck, a message to his father. If he or anyone else in the village dared to go vote in the upcoming elections, something worse would happen to the rest of his children. They would kill the women and children after they killed the men in the village. They would cut babies out of the wombs of the pregnant ladies. I hate to be this graphic, but this is what happened. They would round up the South Vietnamese soldiers not killed in a battle. They would tie them up and shoot them through their mouths or the backs of the heads. Their wives and children, including 2- and 3-year-olds, were brought into the street, disrobed, tortured, executed, throats cut, shot, beheaded, disemboweled, and the mutilated bodies put on fences and hung with signs telling the rest of the community if they continued to support the Saigon government, they could look forward to the same fate. This is what Ho Chi Minh stood for. And yet, here's Obama. Well, we discussed the fact that Ho Chi Minh was actually inspired by the U.S. Declaration of Independence and Constitution and the words of Thomas Jefferson. Huh? Chris Starwalt puts it nicely in FoxNews.com. He say, it may come as an unwelcome news to the families of the nearly 60,000 Americans who died in the Vietnam War. The whole thing was just a misunderstanding. Yeah. See, we're all working together now. Ho slaughtered his opponents. He butchered peasant farmers who resisted his brutal taxation in the early days of his regime. Does that sound like Jefferson to you? 500,000 by his hand. He used Lenin tactics, murder, terror, re-education to obtain, maintain, and expand power. And Obama decides he's got to give him some credibility? Was that necessary? See, I just want everybody to love us. If we can just, show them how much we appreciate them, then maybe I don't even know what to say about this guy anymore, really. Every day it's something new, and most of the time it's a way to disgrace the country of the Founding Fathers. 855-400-7282 gets you an 855-400-SAVAGE. And the new producer on CNN's Crossfire, you may remember him from the latest election, and he got fired for what he said. We'll get you into that in just a second. My name's Greg Knapp, in from Michael Savage on the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.